I remember telling her that my parents grew up in Trinidad, and she was just like, oh wow, that's so cool. Have you ever had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am back, and I am back with another story time. So you already know the vibes. Like, it's about to be a little juicy. And yeah, we all had a job that we hated working at. Or, we just had a job where we started it and we were just like, no, I gotta get up out of here. I gotta chuck my deuces up. Gotta go. Never a right time to say goodbye. But today, I'm gonna say goodbye.
There's never a right time to say goodbye, but we know that we gotta go a separate way.
Yes, this was one of those jobs because there was too many red flags. But anyway, yes, let's get into this story. So when I was interviewing for the job, I remember I walked in the store and there were these two workers there, and they were just basically giving me the rundown. Oh, this is the best job ever. I love this job. I'm just gonna rename the two workers. They're like one of the main characters in this story. So the first one, we're just gonna name her Sarah, and the other one is Tiana. Tiana is obviously black. Sarah is white. So anyway, Sarah and Tiana, they over here telling me like, oh my gosh, this store is everything and blah, blah, blah. And if you're really into fashion and styling, like this job will be a perfect fit for you. And then Sarah, she was sweet. She was telling me like I had no experience styling people. Before this, my only job ever was working at a smoke shop, and they just hired me on spot. But Sarah, let me just say, Sarah was the Regina George. She was the Regina George of like everybody. Like, she was just that bitch. She literally looked like she came fresh off of a Disney movie. Anyway, she was just like, yeah, I never had no experience, so don't worry, like, you have experience in retail, you'll be a good fit for this job. So I'm like, okay, like, giving me all the confidence in the world. I go interview with the lady. She's giving me a hard time. Mind you, this is my second interview. Like, this should be a breeze. Anyway, the lady's interviewing me. This lady looked like she's dressed as if she's a part of the Beatles, literally. And I'm not even trying to be funny, because the whole interview, she's over here like, well, what is your style? And, oh, do you think you could style people? Do you think you have enough experience?
Sarah had no experience and only worked at a smoke shop before that job, so...
And mind you, I did not have experience styling people. But my thing was, Sarah was working at a smoke shop before she even got hired. So how is it that you're telling me, and it's whatever. She doesn't play. She don't play, which is cool. But I don't really remember what she was asking me, but it was to the point where it was just like, all right, like, if you're not going to hire me, you could just send me home right now. Anyway, she ends up hiring me after giving me a hard time. So I'm just like, you know what? She's just giving me a hard time because, she's trying to make sure I'm ready for this job. And it's not, whatever. Anywho, I'm hired. I start this job. Here's where shit gets crazy. Okay? I start this job. Plan was I was going to style adults. The lady was just like, when I started, the lady was like, oh no, we're going to start you styling kids, and then you're gonna style the adults. First, I'm gonna talk about this one lady. The first lady I met, she reminded me of this character on Abbott Elementary. It's this show called Abbott Elementary, and there's this teacher. Her name is Melissa Shemensky, I think, and she reminded me of her so much. Like, she was from Long Island, and when I met her, she was just like, oh, do you have any kids? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, thank God, you're so young. Are you married? I was like, no, I'm not married. And she's like, what? There's so many rich guys around here. You can't find one? What's going on? You're so young, but come on. I was like, yeah, but, I'm not ready for all that. No. I tell my daughter that you're a rich man, a man who's going to take care of you. Right now, she's married. She's like, oh, my gosh, I got to show you pictures of her. And she shows me all the pictures, all 85 pictures of her daughter. She's like, oh, this is my daughter, and this is the car she drives. Her husband got it. A nice car, huh? Luxury. She had that vibe, like, very, she seemed down to earth. But then at one point, it was just like, oh, yeah, you don't drive while my daughter drives. Here's the car. Right here. Oh, you're not married? Here's my daughter's husband. Hey, do you live by yourself? You don't have a house? Oh, let me show you something. Here's my daughter's house. It's big. It's huge. Her husband got it. What? How do you get here? The train? Oh, hell no. But yeah, she was just very like over the top and everything. So the two girls that I originally was cool with, Tiana and Sarah, I went over there and I was like, girl, who is this lady? I just feel very weird because, you know, she's asking me all these questions and it's just like, I don't know what to say. Like, she's like, oh yeah, my daughter's husband owns his own dentist place, and you know, like, and I get it. You want to brag about your daughter, cool. Mind you, this is the first time I ever met you. 2 seconds in, you already showed me a whole bunch of pictures of the inside of your daughter's house and practically the trunk of her car, like everything. And I get it. You want to brag about your daughter and stuff like that. But then you're throwing that on me like, oh, why don't you have a rich husband and blah, blah, blah. And she was just on that vibe. You could tell she was very gold digger, and she was talking about, yeah, if my husband didn't have it back then, he would now. But then I'm just like, but you work at Lester, so is your husband really taking care of you? Because, yeah. Anywho, she just gave off that vibe. And then too, another thing that rubbed me the wrong way, she was also like, oh, yeah, I don't like this job. That's why I always call out. I really don't need this job. I just want to get away. And, you know, and it was just like, all right, cool. But like, you know, when I ended up talking to everybody else, they were just kind of saying like, you know, she come here, she don't do nothing. And I could tell because literally I'm working and you're showing me pictures, and that's cool. It's my first day, you know, but you should also, you was supposed to be showing me around all that stuff, but you showing me pictures. And literally that wasn't the only time that she did that. Like literally every time I would see her, it would be a new set of pictures to show me. It's like, great, I'm so happy for your daughter. Like at this point you should just invite me over on a Sunday for dinner. Like at this point I know your entire family, I know your dog, I know the color of his ass. Like at this point, shit, adopt me. But yeah, I was just like, whatever. She was like the least of my problems. It was just like, girl, like, I just used to smile and chuckle. So then the second lady who I worked with, she worked with kids but boys. I worked with kids but girls. So she would always pop in and come over to my side. So I remember us having a conversation. I don't know if it was my second or third day. But she was like, oh, I give Tiana a ride to the train all the time. And since you guys are train buddies, I don't mind giving you a ride. Don't worry. And I was just like, okay, cool. Because then it saves me that walk or that Uber money to the train, to the Long Island Railroad. So I didn't mind. I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm going to be taking the train with her anyway. So I thought that was so nice. So anyway, that shortly turned into a whole big thing of her giving us a ride. Mind you, I didn't care for the ride. I didn't ask for the ride. It was helpful, but whatever. But then it was just like every time we would close, she would just be like, oh, where are my girls? You know, I'm the Uber person. I got to take people home and blah, blah, blah. But she would be like, oh, where are the girls? I got to take them home. You know how it is. You know how it gets. You know, these are my girls. I'm going to take them. Cool. But like you would make the announcement so everybody in the job could hear, which is cool. But it's like you used to go around like, oh, where's the girls? You know, I have to give them a ride. You know, they don't have a car. I'm gonna drive them. Where are they? Yeah, I'm the mother. I'm the Uber. I'm this. Mind you, it was never like that. And I thought it was funny at first, but then it was like every time 6 o'clock comes, we could be right in front of you. Where's the girls? Time for me to give them a ride. You know me, I'm Uber. And it's like, you know, and I'm taking them for free. Like, you would just always have to be on some salty, grimy stuff. Like, why you have to say that? Like, what you want, money? Like, what you want? Like, and she would always make it seem like, oh, no, I'm doing this because I love you girls. You girls keep me young. Yes. Oh, my gosh. And then it got to a point where she would literally call us her friends. Like, she would drop us to the train and she's like, oh, one day we should get dinner. We should get something. I don't know, something to eat. We should go grab a bite or something. And I'm just like, no, we're not going to do that. Because you know why? This is the same lady I would try to budget on my lunch. So I would, get fast food. I would either get Starbucks or Burger King or Wendy's, and she would be like, "Oh, you're eating Wendy's again? There's this other place across the street, but it's a little pricey. I think you should have that." And it's like, why are you being so shady? Like, everything that would come out her mouth was shady. Like, I remember telling her that my parents grew up in Trinidad, and she was just like, "Oh, wow, that's so cool. Have you ever had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Of course I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." And she's just like, "Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying, because, foreigners, immigrants, they don't really know about stuff out here." And I'm like, "A peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I mean, I thought it was universal, but I guess not." But yeah, I have had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Actually, I had a few growing up. I had a few. But yeah, a little comments like that. And it was just like, whatever. But then, yeah, with the whole car thing and giving us a ride, she would make it seem like, "Oh, yeah, these girls need me." And, it's a white lady dropping two black girls home. And I just felt like she would make it known, like, these two don't have a car. Yeah, I'm their lifesaver. They need me. Mind you, it wasn't like that. I feel like she wanted to be needed, but it wasn't like that, because it was just like, I will go my merry way or whatever. Cool. So Tiana, she models for the brand, and so does Sarah. One time we were in the car, and the lady was just like, "Oh, Tiana, I honestly think you're a better model. I honestly think you model better than Sarah." Like, the whole conversation was about, "Oh yeah, Tiana, Sarah doesn't know how to model. Sarah's not a model. You could tell she's not a model. You're a model." Like, really trying to get a reaction and get a conversation. Then there was this other lady. I'm sorry. Like, I don't even want to be mean, but like, she would come to work dressed any kind of way, like pants down, booty crack out, literally, like, just throwing whatever, don't brush the hair, nothing. The hair is ranful, but she would have the most to say when she would come to work, which was shocking to me, because I'm like, "You look like you just got out of bed." What else do you, like, what are you saying to me? Like, what? But anyway, at one point, I really wanted to work with adults because I wasn't feeling the kids side. And it wasn't because of the kids. It was because of the workers. I'm dealing with this one lady who's giving me rides to the train station, and just has all this negative stuff to say. And she doesn't even know she's being negative or whatever. And then I have the other lady who wants to show me 1,001 pictures. So, like, yeah, I'm annoyed. And I kind of expressed to the managers that I thought I was supposed to be working with the adults. This is a lot. Plus, I have crazy spoiled kids coming in, low key. They didn't used to bother me because I knew that, because of where they grew up and how they were raised, more privileged, that this is just the outcome of how they're acting. So it didn't used to bother me. But then I have to, on top of that, deal with kids who just will literally probably say "fuck you" and put up the middle finger just cause. So yeah, I was just like, I want to go to the adult side. And whatchamacallit? So yeah, the other lady who came in like 2-3 times a week, she came up to me. She was just like, "Oh, do you not like working here? Do you not like talking to people? Is that what it is? You seem so aggressive." I'm like, "Aggressive? How am I aggressive?" She's like, "Well, you're so quiet. It's like you don't want to talk to nobody. It's like somebody is doing something to you. What's going on?" And I was just like, nothing's going on. I was just like, honestly, I just want to work on the adult side. I just feel like this side is just, it's really a different vibe. And, I was talking to Tiana and Sarah about it, and they even said that they didn't like working on that side, the kids side. So it was just like, I was just explaining to her, maybe if I was working around people my age, cool. And she was just like, "Oh, well, I don't think that's the problem. I just think that you don't like talking to people. And you just have to open up and be more open and be more happy. Are you happy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm happy." She's like, "No, not in here. Like, in your life. Are you happy?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm happy. I just don't want to be on this side." And it's like, I didn't even give you a reason to feel like I wasn't happy. Because I'm the type of person, I'll smile. Maybe that day I probably wasn't smiling, but but like nothing was wrong where it was just like people were coming up to me like, oh my gosh, Kelsey, what is wrong? Literally, I just wanted to move to the adult side, and I just felt like I was being picked on. Whatever, cool. Y'all probably saying I'm the most dramatic person in the world, but literally it was just like, I don't like the little smart remarks. Like it be too much. It be too much. And just like these three people specifically, the last two people that I talked about, they always had a smart remark, whether it was about what I was eating, whether it was about what I was wearing. Like it was just always like, oh, what jacket is that? Oh, well, this is Louis. Oh, what are you eating? Burger King? Oh, well, this is Chef Ramsay's special pasta from the spot down the block that cost $100. Like, it was always, y'all always trying to one up me. And it's cool, like, I don't care. And then another thing was, they were all like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have a boyfriend, so what's wrong with her? Like, how don't you have a boyfriend? Everybody has a boyfriend. Or everybody has a car and everybody has this. And it was just like, nah. Like, even the lady who was giving me rides, at one point, she was just like, oh, like, what would you do without me? Like, if I wasn't here, you would have been asked out. What were you gonna do? And it was just like, I had to tell her, like, honestly, I just would have took the Uber or walked, like, really and truly. And there were some times I was just like, you know what? Hey, like, you know, I'm good off the ride today. I'm just gonna walk because I have enough time or whatever. Because at one point, it just became too much. I felt like she was going around telling everybody, like, oh, yeah, these girls depend on me and whatever. And it was just like, all right, we don't depend on you. Like, you offered this ride. Mind you, when I would say, no, I don't want to ride, she would be like, oh, no, come on, please, let's go. Don't do that. Come on, you need a ride. Come on. No, I wouldn't have you walking. I can't. No, I would never. Anyway, fast forward, I started to work on the adult side. I started styling adults, and I felt good. But when I started to work on the adult side, I wouldn't work with Tiana and Sarah together. So it would be days I work with Sarah, there would be days I work with Tiana. Two girls who I thought were cool. I definitely thought that working with Sarah, it was like, all right, girl, you mad spoiled. Mind you, before she was working at Lester, she was working at a smoke shop, so she doesn't have experience. She just models for the company, and she also styles people, which is cool. Like, she's a cool girl, is what I thought. There was one time, I guess, it was just a chill day, and, you know, we were on our phones, we were chilling, we were talking, cool. So one of the assistant managers, she comes out to talk to us, and she's just like, hey, like, you guys can't be on your phones, please, like, try to find something to do, and, like, has a talk with us. And I'm like, okay, like, I completely understand, like, a job is a job thing. This was Sarah the whole time. The assistant manager was scolding us like, oh, don't be on your phones. Like, if you can, do this. Just try not to, you know, be this way because this is what the customers see. This was Sarah the whole time. Like, and I'm literally trying not to laugh because I'm like, yo, bro, like, the assistant manager is right there, like, and like we were on our phones and doing complete nothing. Like, we were just chilling. So I understood. And she's just like she was so funny. And so anyway, the assistant manager at the end of the talk, she just like, listen, you guys do good work. I'm not trying to come down on you guys too hard. I just want you guys to be, you know, more focused on what you're supposed to be doing, whatever. So literally Sarah catches the attitude the whole day. Like, she's storming back and forth. She's like, I'm not working. Fuck this shit. No, fuck her. Because she literally talks shit about everybody. She talks shit to me about everybody. Like, I know everything she says about everybody. I'm gonna tell everybody. And she's walking back and forth and she's just like, oh, I can't believe she would tell me on my phone. I model for this company. Like, so anyway, I'm thinking like, yo, this girl is crazy and tripping because literally the assistant manager is walking in and out and she don't care if the assistant manager see her or not. She's literally complaining like, I can't believe it. So then I don't even know. The assistant manager, she comes out And she's like, hey, Sarah, can I talk to you? I just wanted to say, listen, I'm sorry for pulling you aside earlier and saying that you couldn't be on your phone. Like, you're a really good worker. I don't want you to feel no way. Like, you know, you are an amazing worker. You're an amazing model. You do such a great job. Like, I would never want you to feel no way. And I'm looking at her apologize to this girl, and I'm like, yo, where my apology? Because we was doing the same thing. It's just I ain't catch an attitude when you talk to me. And that was the day that I realized Sarah ran shit. When I tell you she ran shit, after that day, I realized how much she ran shit. Like, she didn't have to do anything. She didn't have to work as hard as us. She was the pretty girl who got hired on the spot because she was pretty. She modeled for the company. Some days she would come to work and then she would leave early to go model. Like, she was just really that bitch. And Sarah and Tiana was cool. So Sarah put Tiana on and was like, yo, you know, when I go model for the company, I'm going to take you with me so that you can model. Mind you, Tiana, she originally wanted to be a model from since she was a little kid, or however long she told me she wanted to be a model. Sarah was just doing it because she was pretty and people loved her, and it was just like, yeah, you look good on camera. We need you anyway. So she would try to, you know, bring Tiana along with her. Anyway, it wasn't long after until I started to work with both of them at the same time that I realized Tiana did not want me and Sarah to get close. I realized when Sarah was working with us, she would never talk to me. She would never talk to me. She would ignore me, or she would have an attitude anytime I would try to say something. It would be like, what? Or like, she would always try to bring Sarah with her wherever she would go in the store, just so it's not like we not talking. I really had to realize it, because I'm like, when we would work together, me and Tiana, we would be chopping it up cool. But soon as you add Sarah to the mix, she talking to Sarah only, and everything and anything I had to say was a dub. Like, we would literally go a whole shift without talking. I would try to talk to her, but it was just like, she would always like rub me off. So it was just like, all right, I don't even need this type of energy. It just felt weird, especially since she was the other black girl that worked there. I really felt away. I still feel away to this day, because I'm just like, that wasn't the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way. It was that, plus this one time, I think this was like my second paycheck. My second paycheck did not come. Mind you, it was supposed to come direct deposit. My first check was a paper check. The second one was direct deposit. And I remember Tiana telling me like, oh, they played with this other girl with her money and she never got a check. And I was like, how dare they try to play me? Anyway, yeah, so they mailed this check to my house and it was a blank check, which was mad weird. I was supposed to get paid. So it was like this whole big thing. And at the time, Tiana was ignoring me. So I felt weird, because I'm like, we went from, you know, we talking, we chopping it up, we cool, I can ask you anything, to not talking. So I had texted her and I was just telling her what happened and the situation about, you know, the blank check. And I was like, yo, they really try to play me. Like, this is crazy. She never responded. I didn't work the next day. She never responded. But I went into the job to, you know, talk about my check. So anyway, I passed by her and I'm like, hey, just mad. She's on her phone. So I'm like, I know you see my text, but whatever. I'm like, hey. And she's just like, and I was just like, okay. So anyway, I go talk to them about my money, whatever. I'm leaving. And mind you, I'm leaving to get back in the car. My homeboy, he was the one that dropped me off. I get in his car and I look at the store, and everybody's like peeking, looking to see who the hell is driving me around and stuff. And it's just mad weird. Like, literally, he was like, what the heck? Why they all looking? Like, what? That's mad weird. Mad nosy. And yeah, when I came in the next day, they was just like, oh, who's the young man? Who's that? I text Tiana when I get home, and I'm like, we have a problem? No, I didn't even say we have a problem. I said, is there an issue between us? And she's just like, no, I didn't even see your text. And I'm just like, girl, I texted you mad times. Not only that, it was just mad weird that you didn't respond. And then I told her, like, you acted funny when I came in. And she was just like, oh, well, you could have talked to me about the situation when you came in, but you chose not to. And I was just like, all right, my fault if I came at you some type of way, because she was making it seem like those were fighting words. Like me saying, is there an issue? Like, I get it, but I'm like, girl, you obviously was moving a certain way, and I hate when people move a certain way and they act like there's no issue. Like, clearly there's an issue, so just say your issue if there is, whatever the case may be. So she was just like, oh, well, it rubbed me the wrong way how you hit me up talking about, is there an issue? There was never an issue. It was this one day we was getting off mad late. There was no way I could take the train to my borough. There's no way I could have taken the Long Island Railroad, because that train only ran at a certain time. And we were getting ready for camp season, so we stayed back OD late. And if anything, I would have to literally spend bread to go home. So, which is fine, but, you know, here's what happened. Tiana, I'm thinking, oh, we could just split half and half, whatever. Just, we talked about it, like, if push come to shove and we get off late, which is what we would do. We would go half on an Uber if it was late. So I told her, like, after a certain time, I was just like, yo, I mean, we could just go half on an Uber, whatever. And she was just like, cool, yeah, we could do that. So at the very last minute, when everybody's wrapping up to go home, it's late, she just like, oh, my boyfriend is here, he's picking me up, he only told me this like an hour ago. So I was like, okay, cool. Mind you, Tiana literally lives 15 minutes from me. So I was like, oh, y'all going to Queens? And she's just like, yeah, we're going to Queens. And I didn't even ask for a ride or anything. And she was just like, oh, so how you getting home? I was just like, well, I thought we was going half on an Uber, but I guess now I have to just, you know, spend the money and just, you know, whatever. Like, and she's just like, oh, you don't have nobody to give you a ride? I was like, nah, I don't. And she was just like, okay. She got her stuff. She gets into her boyfriend's car. At this point, I'm waiting on my Uber. And I'm outside waiting on my Uber. And literally, she's there with the windows rolled down. And looking at me and her boyfriend, and they are laughing, and I'm wondering, like, what are they laughing at? Mind you, I'm just standing there. She don't say bye, she don't say nothing. Her boyfriend literally is in the parking lot, and he makes his car make a sound. Like, they literally fake do a donut little thing or drift or whatever the hell they did, like, in front of me, and drove off fast. And I'm like, if that's not something to make me feel away, then all right. But that was my last straw, because I was just like, it's so crazy how some black girls treat other black women. Because me, if that was my boyfriend, I would have been like, you know, babe, she lives literally 15 minutes away, literally on the way. And my thing is, I never rubbed this girl the wrong way. It was just that one minute she would want to act cool, the next minute she wouldn't. And it threw me off. That's why I wanted to know, is there an issue? And I had every right to ask that. I don't make people feel bad. Like, I'm the type of person, and that's just me, how I am. Like, if I know somebody don't have something, and, like, I fuck with them, I'm the type, I want you to have what I have. Like, that's just how I am. If I have it, you have it too. And I will forever be like that. But if I have it and you don't have it, and, you know, I'm not, even if I don't rock with you, I'm not gonna make you feel, I will never make somebody feel like I have more than them. Never. I've just never done that. Even if I do. Because at the end of the day, you could be put in a position where it's like, you could lose it all. And I feel like everybody wanted to big up themselves in that job. And everybody was talking shit about each other behind the scenes. So it's crazy. It's really crazy just how that job turned out. But it was just a lot. It was really a lot. I just didn't like the little slick comments. I didn't like how I was feeling. I just felt like they always had a problem. They wanted me to be the angry black girl, because they would say stuff, and then if I would react a certain way, it would be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen you like this. Why are you so angry? What's going on at home? And it's like, no, nothing's going on at home. It's y'all. Like, y'all are the ones that are picking at me, trying to make me feel some type of way, or always in my business, always asking me questions like, oh, are your parents together? Oh, what do you make at home? What do you cook? Mind you, they never ever made me feel comfortable in that job to even, like, open up to them. And then the two people that I actually felt comfortable with, Sarah and Tiana. Tiana definitely did her big one with the whole boyfriend stuff, because that was just like, yo, that's the type of person that you are. Like, you would literally, like, we take the train together, all kinds of stuff. I'm not saying that you know me from a hole in the wall, but respectfully, if I was Sarah or anybody else, because mind you, she didn't even know Sarah for that long. She knew Sarah probably 2 months more than me. Mind you, we was about 2 months in, so it was just kind of weird, like, you know, you want to fake be cool with me. Even if we not that cool, if it's late and I could give you a ride, cool. Mind you, it's not like we were beefing. At least that's what I was thinking. Like, it's not like we was beefing. I thought we was cool. Like, you know, even if we was fake cool, like, it was just weird. I just felt some type of way, because I'm just like, wow, as a female, like, that's crazy. As a female, like, I that's not something I would do. But yeah, like, it was always something. It was always something. Like, I'm wrong because I don't have a pool in my backyard. Like, it was on that type of timing. I'm wrong because I'm trying to save my money. The only things that was around lessers to eat was fast food, and if it wasn't fast food, it was like expensive stuff, like stuff where it's like, if you're not trying to spend $25 or more on lunch, don't go there. So, like, I was being judged for that, and at first it was just like, okay, like, you know, whatever, they just want something to say. Then it was just like, all right, every time I come in here with Burger King or Wendy's, y'all have something to say. Like, y'all making it seem like I can't afford anything else, stuff like that. Like, I don't like stuff like that. But yeah, I would say, like, that I felt like that was the worst place I'd ever worked as far as the work culture and how everything was. It was just very all over the place, very unorganized. Everybody literally had a problem with each other, and instead of talking to each other about that problem, they talked about each other and not about the, you know, they never faced the problems. Like, everybody was just all over the place. Like, the whole energy was just bad, and I just felt like for Tiana, I was like, as a black girl, like, it's just certain things. It's a certain code. It's a certain... And I just felt like she just did not have that code whatsoever. Mind you, they're talking about, oh, I could grow in this company. I could become this in this company. Mind you, I just felt like they were trying to make me smaller than what I really felt like I was. Like, even in the interview process and stuff like that, I was supposed to be getting paid 24. They changed it to 20. I was supposed to be working with adults. They put me in kids. It was like, it was just too much. Like, it was whatever.